Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the newly heavily refreshed 2024 Hyundai Sonata in the newly hybrid only limited top trim of this vehicle. I've previously speed dated this exact one at a Texas Auto Riders event already here on the channel, but now I have actually been living with this one for a week, really gotten to learn its character inside and out, and in this video I'm going to examine, does it really get the 51 miles per gallon that the EPA rates this at, and would I spend my hard-earned money on this over the segment leading Toyota Camry? Stay tuned. All right, so the short answer is no and yes, and we'll get into all of the details very shortly, but huge thanks to Hyundai for supplying us with this for a full week here on our home turf. Was really nice to get to speed date this at the Texas Auto Riders event, where this did take home some hardware for best midsize sedan. So congratulations there to Hyundai. This really is a good solid platform. And well, let's dig into all of that, shall we? Because I picked this up in Arlington, Texas. I was there with my son doing some fun stuff, touring the Rangers ballpark, going to Six Flags, doing, you know, touristy stuff. And then I had to drive it over 100 miles to get it back home. So I've put highway miles on this. I've put city miles on it. I've put a lot of miles on it. As I'm looking at the trip computer in front of me right now, 264.7 miles to be exact. And this has been a very comfortable car all the way around. It's been comfortable to ride in. It's been very quiet. Every time I close the door, I'm like, wow, this is just a premium vehicle. It just gives off that premium vibe in everything it does, from the color match switchgear that I'll talk about later to just its overall presence. It's very quiet in here. It's very serene in here. And that's helped by the fact that the engine isn't always running. I say isn't always, but the way Hyundai has this thing tuned, it does come on rather quickly and eagerly, rather often. And that's something that I was surprised at. I do like how we actually have a tachometer here on the gauge instead of a power meter or anything like that. So it's very easy for me to tell when the engine's on, what RPM it's at, etc., etc. And then I've got a battery meter down here below as well. I'm at half a battery right now. I'm at half a tank with 250 miles to go. So clearly this thing can go for a while. It'll actually go for over 500 miles, even in my observed fuel economy, even if I am not seeing the 51 MPG claimed from the EPA on the highway. In fact, I've never seen over 41 MPG on this hard stop. And well, let's face it, all the numbers on the window sticker are above 41. So this is not hitting the EPA window sticker numbers, but that's really not a bad thing. Over 500 miles of range from 13.2 gallons of fuel ain't nothing to sneeze at in a vehicle that is this big and this comfortable. What's it like to drive? Well, I've already mentioned the 2-liter 4-cylinder is eager to come on under any acceleration. It seems like if you need to accelerate, it's going to come on, which is not a bad thing. The electric motor is only rated at 51 horsepower. In fact, let's talk a little bit about the engine and powertrain. Powering this hybrid only limited trim is not the 1.6 turbo 4 that we are used to seeing in hybrids wearing the Hyundai H. This employs a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to a hybrid electric motor, and it has been relatively good for us in our time with it. It makes a combined 192 horsepower, 51 of that coming at low RPM from the electric motor. All this is mated to a 6-speed automatic and routes power to the front wheels. You can drive it on electric power alone, though, as I've already covered, this really likes to step in and supplement that power with the gas engine, which really does speak to the fuel economy numbers. The EPA rates this at, and I've already referenced, a 44 city, 51 highway, 47 combined. So yeah, setting off in this, it's like the engine turns on every single time, but it's not obtrusive or annoying. It's not laggy. It's power when you need it, when you want it. It'll squeal those narrow tires, even here in eco mode. I really like that. I have pretty much exclusively driven in eco mode, which defaults to its most economical settings. It wants to use that electric motor as much as possible and the gas engine as little as possible. But I have noticed, like in highway cruising, if I'm just cruising, the engine comes on for whatever reason, and then I'm constant on the throttle, the accelerator pedal, whatever you want to call it. The engine doesn't like to turn off, even if it can, until like I let off the pedal, and then I can get back on it and start cruising again on electricity. It's very interesting. It seems like the engineers maybe worked on the software to be a little too heavy on using the gas engine and too light on using the electric motor, which I am contributing 100% to me not getting close to the 40 plus and 50 plus MPG ratings on the window sticker, because I really have tried to hypermile this. When I get in vehicles like this, I'm like as light on the throttle as I can be. I want to see what I can get out of it. My daily driver is a Chevy Cruze Eco. I like to get the most out of my miles when I'm in something like this. My driving characteristic changes. And I've already said I've almost exclusively been in eco, but here putting it in sport mode, it's responsive. We have a 6-speed automatic transmission that I told you about, and it's relatively quick, 192 horsepower all the way around. It has been more than enough, but I can tell you here in sport, like it holds the gears and it feels like there's a lot of regen happening when I let off the pedal. It's like, I don't know, it feels like everything's tightened up in here and there's a little less cruisability to this. You don't just coast down the road quite as much. So some things I've known from living with this for a week, from picking it up over 100 miles away from home, from having to bring it back on the interstate. Though getting it back home, it has been so comfortable. The ride and handling on it is good. The steering is good. It's not too light of a steering. It's not too heavy, so it doesn't feel like overly sporty. It's just right. And then we're about to go over some railroad tracks here and show you just what the ride quality is like. Buttery smooth. I am truly impressed with the overall polish of this Hyundai Sonata. It fits very nicely in our garage with room to spare. It's very easy to park. It's very easy to see out of. The visibility out of it is very good. It's very easy to get in and out of. It's just a very easy vehicle to live with day in and day out, even with our family of 3 that still employs a child safety seat in the back. You'll want to be sure and hit the subscribe button so you can see me install that and see what Holly thinks of this vehicle when it comes to her impressions of driving this around. Spoiler alert, she really wants one. But yes, very comfortable all the way around. And the thing that's really surprising about this is a top trim limited. It is a hybrid model, so it's the most fuel efficient. So it's going to cost you the least amount of money to own and operate over the course of the vehicle. It's got a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. So for those of you worried about the batteries wearing out, things like that, you've got that baked in. 3 years of complimentary maintenance, 5 years bumper to bumper. Really good protections here from Hyundai all the way around in this. And it has been a very pleasant vehicle in my 2 stints now with this one. And then driving it around, you can see I'm still in eco mode, but it'll pull. You can definitely hear that 2-liter revving up and doing work under there, but it's already turned back off. So I really like living with this. It has worked very well for us and has been a very good vehicle for us for our time with it. I'm going to be sad to see it go. I do like the ventilated seats. It's making this warm summer day much more bearable for me. We've got the big panoramic roof. We've got the sunshades in the back windows. All the way around, it is a very nice vehicle. Very well styled too. I love the updated style to this. This is perhaps the heaviest mid-cycle refresh that Hyundai has ever done, that the mid-size sedan segment has ever done, because everything except for like the side profiles was changed on this front, the rear. You know what, let's dive into it. This is the heaviest mid-cycle refresh I think Hyundai has ever done. The entire profile of the vehicle remains the same, but the front fascia, the rear fascia, and the interior has been completely reworked for a very different character, different demeanor all the way around. And they really want to emphasize the width of this vehicle from every aspect of it. So gone is that catfish-like front grille. We get a fairly wide opening up here as well with that black bumper bar that really emphasizes just how large the front grille space is on this one, but it has been completely reworked. We now have that seamless horizon, infinite horizon, whatever they call it, LED lamp that goes all the way across the front. It also houses our DRLs. It also houses the turn signals, as you can see. And then the headlights have been very wide set on the exterior corners of this vehicle to really, again, emphasize the width. So previous gen, pre-refresh, they were really emphasizing how tall the front of the vehicle was, which on a car really doesn't work. But now we're emphasizing the width. I think it absolutely works. Some other cool features up front here, besides the headlamps being really wide set, is the fact that we actually do have air pass-throughs right here. So we do have some better aerodynamics. Another styling element I really appreciate are the turn signals here and the fake fender grills. Yes, I know this isn't real, and I should be knocking Hyundai for putting this fake fender vent here, but I really like the addition of this LED turn signal on the fender. It really just kind of gives the vehicle an overall classy look. As we pull around to the side of the vehicle, this is the same profile that we've had on previous year models, generations. They didn't really change anything, including where some of the body lines went. They really kept the side profile simple over previous models, but I will call out here the Aero 17-inch wheels. They're an aerodynamic design, but I think it works fairly well. Hyundai has really been knocking it out of the park with some interesting and unique wheel designs. And even though these are aerodynamically focused, they still have a nice touch, especially when you see them driving down the road. They are wrapped in two 55 or 17-inch Kumho Solus tires. So they are a little on the narrow side, but again, fuel efficiency is the name of the game here. And all the way around, I think it gives it a nice, very classy look, especially being painted in this transmission blue. Yes, this is technically blue, although I would say it's blue-gray, and it is metallic. I'm gonna do my best to bring you in here and see all the metallic metal flake that they put in the paint here. It is a very nice look. It is the same color paint that we saw on the last Hyundai sedan we had in their Ioniq 6. And yes, I know they don't want me calling that thing a sedan. And then as we come around to the back of the vehicle, the back has been completely reworked as well. And this is another really big uptick in overall styling, if you ask me. We get this black panel that spans all the way across. Again, we are emphasizing the width of this vehicle. That is the name of the game with this mid-cycle refresh. And we get this very large hidden H in that running light back here in the back between the two sides here going vertical, and then the long crossbar. Yeah, we have an H hidden in the taillights, much like the Hyundai Santa Fe. We're getting lots of hidden H's around on the vehicle. And then we've got these nice LED lighting elements back here. You can see the turn signals and everything are built in right here. But this is our reverse lamp. Not quite sure what those two lights are. Haven't seen them in action myself. But it is a nice, very classy look back here. We get a very aerodynamic looking rear lip spoiler on the back of this one. With all those vortex generators that we know the segment leader Toyota really likes to put on their vehicles. No visible exhaust tip back here, but you can see we do have a single outlet exhaust over here. And then a very nice feature for the segment. This is Mercedes-Benz level of luxury, power opening and closing trunk. That is not something you typically see in this segment. I really love it. Love it. And you can see The hinges do not crush your luggage, so all that is taken into consideration. The trunk space in this is slightly larger than the Camry's 15.1 cubic feet of space, so that is a very nice touch. And you can see we do have a 60-40 split bench rear seat with a flatter transition than what we get in the Toyota Camry as well, so that is a nice touch. But these are pretty standard in the segment that you can only fold those seats down from in here. Just something to note. We do have a false floor here, no spare tire, but we do get a tire mobility kit in all this foam. So we do have some extra storage down here. I do think that's going to be large enough for my backpack to hide down here. Not going to get a lot of noise because of all the foam down here, so that's very nice. But no spare, just that tire mobility kit. And then again, I love it. This is literally a Mercedes-Benz level of luxury item with that power opening and closing trunk. One last really cool luxurious feature to the trunk back here is not only is it power, but it was power hands-free. So I've got the key in my pocket right now. I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm not kicking, I'm not dancing, and I just stand back here. It beeps at me 3 times and the trunk opens. So if my hands are full of groceries, luggage, whatever the case may be, just stand back here and the trunk power opens. You can load it all up with all your stuff, and then when your hands are free, close it back down with the push of a button. Really, really, really like that feature. Okay, so I already answered no, we aren't getting the 51 MPG that the EPA rates us at for highway use. But would I buy this over the segment leading Toyota Camry? Yes, I have really come to enjoy the Hyundai brand. I like their UI. I like everything about it. It's very comfortable, very easy to use, very familiar, very easy just to hop in and know where everything is. I like that a lot. We already talked about their warranties, their maintenance, all that fun stuff. They really stand behind their products, and I appreciate that a whole lot. I talked about the sound of closing the doors. It just seems like a very premium product when you hop in this. That has not been my historical Camry experience here on the channel. Toyota doors sound a little tinny when you close them. We have had an older model XLE hybrid Toyota Camry here on the channel, and we've had the new 2025 for a little bit of a speed date as well. I actually had that one back to back with this one, and even in that scenario, I picked this over that. I just like it a whole lot better. No, you can't get all-wheel drive with the hybrid. You can get all-wheel drive on this, but not with the hybrid. So there are some trade-offs, but here in my Texas climate, all-wheel drive really isn't that big of an issue. All the way around, I am very pleased with the packaging of this and the pricing. As this one sits, it does not cross into $40,000, which was something I was also impressed with the last Hyundai Tucson we had, which is a compact crossover. This is a mid-size sedan, so I feel like it is roomier, more spacious, more premium than that Tucson, but 2 sub $40,000 limited loaded models that you can get from Hyundai that I really do like a lot. And Hyundai is really bringing their A game. They are now the 3rd largest automaker in the world with their 3 brands, Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia. So that is saying a lot that they are able to do that with 3 brands. When you've got brands and families like Stellantis that has hundreds of brands, it seems like, and General Motors with their 4 brands. So it really is saying a lot that Hyundai has been able to step up their game. The key, well, it's Hyundai's new Hyundai logo key. It's a little big and bulky for my taste, but it's got everything on it you would want. It's got lock, unlock, remote start. Even on this hybrid model, you can see our turn signals come on to let us know that the vehicle's on. We even have smart park, so let's see if I can get it to move. Yep, and I can get it to move an entire parking space simply from the key right here, which is a very nice touch. Another thing I really like about their remote start system is when I get in after remote starting it, sorry guys, and close the door, it's on. Like, it's on. I don't have to push the button, even though I can. That will kill it. It's like, okay, I'm already on. The key's inside the car, the driver's inside the car. Why do I need to push buttons and all that stuff? So I really like that a lot. You can see the engine did just fire up. We do still get a speedometer and tachometer Most hybrid models don't give you an actual tach. They give you some weird power meter. I like having a tach. It allows me to see when the vehicle is actually on. I like that a whole lot. And then we can page through a bunch of different information here on the center screen, including what the vehicle is doing and the fuel economy. We do have a color head-up display right up there. It's very hard to see on camera, but it can display turn by turn and all your driver assistance tech all built into that. It also has traffic sign recognition, gives you all the pertinent information. Though I'm wearing some polarized glasses right now, and it does make it a little hard for me to see, but I do get this 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster here, 12.3 inch infotainment screen here. Really like all the UI here in this one. I get the H-less center cover here on the steering wheel, but all our controls right there. Color match switchgear, which I really like. 2-person memory seat. Couple of buttons right here. No poverty blinks to speak of in this one. HVAC controls are very nice, easy to use. We do have ventilated and heated front seats, which I really like. We have a heated steering wheel that's leather wrapped, which I really like. The only thing is these do not remember where they were set. So every time I turn the vehicle on, here in this hot Texas June, I do have to turn my ventilated seat back on. The use of color, textures, and materials in here is very nice. We saw this material in the last Palisade we tested. I like the use of camel color here in this one. I already mentioned the color match switchgear. I will notice you can kind of see the reflection of the camel dash in the gauge cluster. That's something I didn't notice on the speed date, but it quickly faded into obscurity when I got into using this for a full week. Just something to know. We do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this. I currently have it turned off on my phone, but completely wireless here. You can also use the USB-C port right here. This is either battery or battery and USB, and then just battery only. Qi wireless charger right here. That does a great job working. A little bit of rubberized storage up here as well. Really like that. A little bit of storage right here for something like Kleenex, which I really like. A couple cup holders. A couple buttons here for our drive mode, so we can go into sport, get those sporty racing looking gauges, my drive, which is customizable, or back to eco. Auto hold, a parking camera button. I really love the cameras in this. This again is one up over the Camry. If you're in park and you push the camera button on the Camry, it does this panning circle thing that is kind of like what you can do here, except it just pans around and doesn't allow you to control it. Hyundai says, no, you should be able to control it. So I have full control over my 360 view here. I also have multiple different views that I can use and look at. So I really like that, along with my bird's eye 360. And then if I put my blinker on, I also have my blind spot cameras here on the digital gauge cluster. Really like the camera system here in the Hyundai Sonata, definitely over the Toyota Camry. And that button is one of the best features of it. Nice padded armrest, decent size center console. There's no power in here because all the power is up here. Decent size glove box right here. It is damped but not lined with felt. Decent storage in the doors. Leather wrap seats, they've been very comfortable. Much more comfortable than the Chevy Malibu that I drove and compared to the Camry the last time I was in the Camry. And then a very large panoramic glass roof, dual pane glass roof, but it does have Hyundai's a 2-stage switch here, so you have to be very careful when opening it that you don't over open it and open the glass when you weren't wanting to open the glass. Just be very careful. Small nitpicks in this vehicle for sure, but that is one of them. That and the heated and ventilated seats. We're gonna go ahead and pop out now and check out the back seat because there are some nice tricks up the sleeve back here as well. Really like the back seats, really like the built-in sunshades here. So that is a very nice touch. Again, we get that color match switchgear, all that camel seating material back here. And we climb in, I've got plenty of room behind myself at 5'10". Hard plastic seat backs. Tekka really likes to kick them. That's okay. We've got air vents on the back here. No tri-zone, but that's okay. 2 USB-C ports back here, which I really like. A little bit of storage here in the door, which I really like. And here, we've got hard plastic, just like we did up front. Didn't touch on it, but hard plastic here and here, but softer touch materials everywhere else. Really like that. The armrest doesn't do the Toyota Camry thing and flop all the way to the seat bottom. It stays actually like where you would want to use it as a functioning human adult. So I really like that. And all around, it is just very comfortable back here. There are cutouts here in the ceiling for my head. It is a close proximity to my head. My hat does touch on occasion. If I were to sit here in the middle, yeah, me at 5'10", that is a shortcoming, but who really rides in the center back here anyway? It's usually kids. We do also have a transmission tunnel. This is front-wheel drive only, but they do offer all-wheel drive on the Sonata for 2024. Even though I am not getting the advertised EPA rating on this one, yes, I would still buy this over the Toyota Camry. It just appeals more to me. I do like the sportier styling of the 25 Camry, but this really does look very classy. I love this transmission blue paint and all the satin chrome accents on the outside. It's really nice, very pleasant. But there you have it, a quick tour of this after living with it for a week. How I like it, how I love it, and this is how I would spec one for sure. If you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video drops from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, on my last day with the 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid Limited, until next time, gearheads, bye. Drop down to 39 MPG, oh no! Here comes the rain again. Big fat drops, here we go. Automatic wipers, really like that. Garage test. I don't typically see that. 360 cameras work very nicely. Allow me to park perfectly here in my garage.